Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching, thank you for coming back. Today we're going to jump on the Riviera roof. Yeah. Take that. I'm going to get the lead melted out of the seam on this side. I already did it on this side. We're going to cut this roof off. Then we're going to do the same thing to the roof that's on the car. I'm going to melt the lead out of the seams. We're going to get that cut off and see what else we have to patch. Once I get this roof off, I'm going to have to patch some of the front edge of this because this one's bad, kind of in the same place as what's on the car. But on the car, if you remember, let's go take a look. On the car, it's really bad. So the other thing about on the car is I found some pretty significant dents in the roof, and there's some pretty good, some heavy rust on it. I hadn't got all the primer off of the roof, so I'm not sure exactly how much worse it is. So as you can see, that's pretty bad along there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the skin off of this one, which is in a lot better shape. It doesn't have any dents. It's got a little surface rust in it. After I get it cut off, I'm probably going to touch up with the muriatic acid rust removal process that I had to get a couple of spots that I missed. Get that taken care of, and then we'll cut the other roof off. So stick with me, and we'll get to work on this thing and see what we can get done today, or get done in this video, because it's going to take more than one day. So, all right, what we got here. If you can see this, I hope you can see the lead line right here. That's where they actually, from the factory, put the roof on and welded it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take and melt that lead out and show you the seam. Can you see some of the lead melting away? I don't know if you can see that yet or not. But that lead will just melt out of that seam. I'll use the wire brush to clean it up. And then I'll come back with my drill driver with a wire brush on it, clean it up even more, and it'll expose all the spot welds, and then we can drill spot welds out and take the roof off, or the roof skin off. And I'll probably speed this up when I edit the video, so it doesn't bore you too bad. I hope you can see it's exposing that seam right there. When we go to grinding on this, I'll put a mask on because lead is poisonous, so I don't want to breathe any of that in. Alright, so as you can see, as it exposes that seam, now I'm going to grab me a little mask real quick. Now you can see that seam, and you can see all the little spot welds. And I'll have to come back on both sides, see how many they got. Tons of spot welds. And I'll come back on both sides and I'll drill those spot welds out. And then back here on the roof, you can see the back of this is rusted worse than what's on the car. So I'll cut the seam out, and then I'll come back and actually cut around this edge to the other side. And then I'm going to come down here, and under the drip rail, the roof is actually welded under the drip rail. So what I'll do is I'll come right along this body line right here, and I'll cut that out. And then on the front, I'll find the spot welds on the front, and I'll drill those out, and then I should be able to lift the skin off of the car. So that's what we're going to try and do. So hopefully all that works out pretty good, and then we'll move on to the car and see if we can get the roof off of the car like I need to. So stay with me. I got everything cleaned up here. Best luck that I've had trying to do spot welds. I don't think I've done a video drilling spot welds yet, but you can see them on the panel here pretty easy. Sometimes it takes a little bit when they're rusted over or whatever. Best luck I've had is I buy these little spot weld cutters. These little things that got a little guide tip to them. Then I pre-drill a pilot hole in each one of the spot welds. Okay, that way it gives that tip something to go into to hold that spot weld cutter in place while it cuts out that spot weld. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drill my little pilot holes, and then I'm gonna do the spot weld cutter and get that stuff cut out of here, or get the spot welds cut out, and then we'll move on to the other side, and then we'll get ready to cut the skin off. So here we go. Put my glasses on so I can see. Some people would just take a drill bit and just drill the spot welds out, and then they got a thing called a seam splitter that'll come in here and hammer it. It's like a little thin chisel, and it'll help cut all that up. I'd rather do it this way. It seems to work better for me. Some people have better luck the other way. I have better luck this way. And then there's a spot right here where they've welded, so I'll drill 2 holes to get that whole weld out of there. Cutters work better when they're on the lower speed instead of the fast speed. And you don't want to, you try not to cut through both layers. So if you look, a lot of times between that seam there'll be some rust. So sometimes when you're drilling the spot out, it'll there'll be a little puff of rust dust, and you'll know you're through the first layer, and you probably don't need to go any deeper. Well, my guide broke. That's why I have to That's what I meant by going too deep. I drilled through both layers. So this one's a little sharper than the other one was, so didn't realize it was cutting that well. Let me get something to separate that. I just got a little chisel. Just so you can see up close, once you drill the spot welds out, this is all loose now. This whole panel is loose. Okay. So that's right there. That's where I drilled through the inside panel. That's what you don't want to do, but that's what I ended up doing. On this one doesn't make any difference because it's it's going in the garbage. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and then I'm gonna try and find the spot welds along this edge and drill them out. And once I get those drilled out, then I'm gonna come back and start cutting along this seam. So I won't bore you with me finding more spot welds and cutting them out. I'm gonna go do that and then I'll come back. So see you in a minute. I got the front edge of this, all my spot welds drilled out and got it all loose around there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here on this lip. I'm gonna cut here and I'm gonna cut up on the top of that body line all the way back here. And then when it comes to the back, you can see right here in the corner how it's rusted out and how this lip is all rusted pretty bad. So what I'll do back here is I'm gonna come just under the edge of that roof, and I'm gonna cut all along this edge here. And I should be able, when I cut the other side, I should be able to lift the roof off of here. So when I get that done, then I'll come over here. I'm gonna have to sand all this down and find the body line for here. But this roof is all good in here, and this lip is in really good shape. So when I go to put it on, I'll probably cut it right on this edge right here and weld it on that edge. And when I go to put it back on. But that's where I'm at, so I'm gonna do that. So stand by. Another screw. Look at that. All right. Now you can see that roof was not the greatest, and this inner support is worse on this one than it is on that one, I'm thinking. So We'll see here in just a little bit. I'm going to move this extra pile of scrap out of my shop and get it out of my way. Well, I decided that after looking at the underside of that roof, it's not any pitted rust or anything, it's just a bunch of surface. So I'm going to set it outside, do the underside today. So I'm going to take this outside, put the muriatic acid on it, let it set for a couple hours. And while I'm doing that, then I'm going to go to work on the roof on that. So here we go. All right, there you have it. Cut the roof off of the car. Here it is. The car's a nightmare. It's been a pain in my ass. Yeah. Take that. Take that. Oh, that felt good. Yeah, this car's been a pain. Every time I cut into it, it's something new. So anyway, that felt good. All right, here we go with the Nightmare. Took the roof skin off. This is the lip of the roof that was rusted out. This is the inner support, and as you can see, with this thing there's always something. So what I'm gonna have to do now, I'm gonna have to clean this lip off where the old roof was welded on, and then I'm gonna have to figure out exactly how far back or how bad this is. I'm praying I don't have to make that whole piece, because that's going to be a tremendous pain in my ass. Really, really is. Man. Hole there, hole there. That's where the visor hole is there, and the visor hole here. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to think about this for a while. I got to figure out how I'm gonna repair that. But I'm gonna go outside. The underside of the roof that I took off the donor roof has been soaking in muriatic acid for a couple hours now, so I'm gonna go clean it off, see how it looks, neutralize the acid and everything, and then I'll get it back in here and I'll show you how it looks. That'll probably be it for the day. I went out and got the roof. I treated it. I've been sitting out there a couple of hours, just kind of soaking. So, you know what it looked like before? Looks a lot better. Still got some surface rust on it. It's trying to flash up right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit it with some 80 grit real quick. Make sure it's dry. Hit it with a little bit of 80 grit. And then I'm going to put some rust inhibitor on it and let that set overnight. And then it should be, the underside should be ready to go. Tomorrow I'll come over, I'll flip it over. I'll coat the top with some muriatic acid in the spots that I had missed before and get that cleaned up. So that's where I'm at with the donor roof. The car itself, man. I've got to figure out what I'm gonna do about that front support. I mean, there's only one thing I guess I can do, and that's try and repair it. That's gonna be a pain. So I'm gonna have to dissect it and probably piece by piece. That's the only way I know to do it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. When you look at the top of this, there's a brace right here. Okay, I'll probably remove that brace, or the top half of this support. I'll remove the other side
and then I'll check the piece that runs across all the way and try and figure out how I'm going to fix that, because then I'll have to either remake these pieces or patch these pieces on both sides, patch the structure going across, making sure I got everything lined up like it's supposed to be. The top part of this looks good, so I might be able to just cut it in here and just patch the front half, and that's the only thing. I'll think about it some more and I'll get back on it. But it's late in the day. I think I'm gonna call it a day after fighting all the, well, I'm gonna sand this down and do that first, and then I'm gonna call it a day. But I'm not gonna put y'all through watching me do that boring stuff. So till I come back, trying to figure out what we're gonna do with that. We'll see you later. All right, I'm back. Took and sanded the underside of the roof. I sprayed that rust inhibitor, rust converter on the entire thing. Then I sanded it down with 80 grit, left it for a day, sanded it down with 80 grit, and then came back and I put some rattle can flat black paint on it just to protect the metal. That way it's good to go. What I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna flip this thing over. I'm gonna work on this front edge, patching this front edge. When I get this patched, then we'll move on to the front of the Nightmare roof over there that I got to figure out something about. So let's get going. Well, guys, I'm gonna give you confirmation that there's a lot of times when I'm a dumbass, and I was a dumbass. When I did the underside of that roof, I did not think about the top side of the roof and how nice the top side looked. Just being exposed to the fumes from the muriatic acid did that to my pretty nice looking roof. It flash rusted the entire top of this thing. And this is after I have wiped it down and cleaned it up some. And if you'll look and see, if I'd have just protected it, because you see right here where it's not as rusted, that's where it was sitting on my my rack, the stands, my stands that it's sitting on now. So this part was not exposed like the rest of it. So it flash rusted the whole thing. So when I get done with the repair job on the front edge, I'm gonna have to re-treat this entire top to get all that back off. Now it's not pitted it or nothing like that. It's still smooth as it can be, but it's just flash rusted the whole thing. And I could probably sand a bunch of that off, but it'll be so much easier and quicker for me to do another treatment of the muriatic acid. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. So when I get done fixing the front edge, I'll retreat the top, but I will cover the underside. It's also painted, but I'll cover the underside to make sure that I don't ruin the underside, since it'll be done, fixed, and ready to go back on the car. So just a lesson from me. Like I say, these videos are for entertainment, and if you can learn a lesson by me learning a lesson, hey, I gotta turn the brain waves on every now and then to do this stuff, I guess. So let me get on to fixing this thing and see if we can make some headway. Well, guys, after looking this thing over, I thought I was going to be able just to patch this thing up. I thought I could come in and I patched that separately, but I thought I could just patch some of these spots and maybe patch this section. But looking at it closely, I'm gonna have to remake this whole front edge all the way around. And then I'm gonna have to patch some spots. This spot for sure. I'll check the rest of it to see, but I only have a 3-foot break. So what I did is I tried to figure out where center was. I drew a line. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from here to here with one piece. It's like 25, it's a little over 25 and 3/8 or something like that. So I'm gonna make a piece from here to here to do a patch, and then from here to here and do the other side. And then I'll come back and do this piece right here separately. And I think that'll take care of it. But that's what I'm gonna try to do. Bear with me, and I'll set this camera up hopefully where you can see what's going on. I drug it over here closer to my welding table. So all I can say is we're gonna try and fix it. Okay, I've been up a piece 18 gauge. Ignore the land, I'll straighten that out. What I'm gonna try and do is, if you notice, this piece got to curve around, but if you also notice, it's got to do this too. So it's got to curve this way, and it's got to curve that way. So I'm gonna use my shrinker stretcher and see if we can make that fit in there like it should be. So let's see how this goes. So what I gotta do, get my hammer. So anyway, so what I gotta do is to get this to turn like so. I have to stretch this edge so it'll curve it around. So let's try and do that. That looks so far. I actually stretched it a little too much right here, so to shrink it back. Make it turn more on the end down here. Pretty good line to there. Need to move it on around some more out here. Oops. Too much stretch right there.
Go little by little. Or you end up doing what I had to do, and that was shrink it back. Still needs to stretch a little bit right here. Okay. So right now, the curvature here fits pretty good. But if you can see on the end here, you see where it has to go down. So now what I got to do is figure out where it needs to turn this way, which is going to require stretching the other way. See, if I hold it down here, see the difference? See how high it gets on that end? So this has got to swing down that way. Straighten this edge out a little bit. Looks like to me, really and truly, it's pretty flat through here, and right here at the end, it wants to turn down. Right there. There we go. Right here is one of the little studs that holds the trim clips in. You need to get that out of there. Just pull it off like that. And I'll pull these off. You can buy replacement ones that are actually little screws that'll screw into the new metal. Back. Got to change the angle. There's more. You see how this makes pretty straight L? I need to bring this edge in like this to match the angle of that edge. See if I did enough or not, or too much. Where I made the mistake at is I didn't make that angle first. So I wasn't getting a true lie on where this actually needed to be. So now, I stretched that too much. Trying to get that angle in there. Still not enough here. Might help me a little bit if I put my glasses on too. Now what I got is by doing that, made my metal curve even more, caused it to stretch just a little bit more. So when I get this fit, then I'm gonna have to come back in here and redo the stretch some of that back out so that the curvature is correct. Right now it's all out of whack. So now I got to stretch this back out. Let's see. All that hammering distorts, so now it's a little twisted. See how that turned up on me right here? Distorted it. So now I have to shrink it and stretch it, get it to come back into alignment where I need it. Still need to hammer this down just a little bit. Now I got my depth in there. Okay, now I got to get the flow right here. It's got to curve down just a little bit. Stretched it too much in here again. Okay, let's see how this does. A bit more right in here. Let's see if we can turn that down some. Trying to do little by little, like I said. Because when I do too much, then I go back the other way. Should be pretty good right there. There. And bring it around just a little bit right here. A little bit. Let's get close right there. Really close. Turn that just a little bit right there. It's looking pretty good, actually. Cut that right there. Yeah, I like the way that's looking now. I'm gonna cut this end off real quick. Okay, I kind of clamped this all in place. You can see my pliers are pulling that down just a little bit, but it fits pretty good all the way across. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scribe a line in on this edge right here, and I'm gonna cut on that scribe. And well, actually what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna cut the bottom edge of this lip, the underneath lip. I'm gonna trim that off first, line it up with this edge, and line it up down here on this end, and then I'll scribe the top, because once I do that, this piece is gonna drop the thickness of that metal. So it'll drop down just a little bit, and then I'll scribe the edge, and then I'll cut that edge, and then this piece should fit in just perfect. So that's what I'm gonna do next. So okay, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I cut that bottom piece off and it dropped that line level just a little bit. So now I'm gonna scribe that line with a metal scribe, and then I'll cut that off, and then this will be ready to weld in. Take the clamps off. I don't know if you can see the line or not. Describe the line right like that. So what I'll do is I'll come in and I'm going to cut just on the underside of that line. So to get this piece cut out, and then I'll fit that and get it tacked in. So I cut that piece out. Now I'm going to fit the new piece in and get it tacked in place. Okay, I got it tacked in. So I'm gonna tack along this, and then I'll come back and do tack on tack until I get it all welded in. Might help if I put my welding helmet on though. So now the procedure is I'll come back and I'll tack on top of this one, on top of this one, on top of this one, all the way down. I'll keep coming back around. Make a line or make a tack all the way down. I'll wait, let it cool, then I'll come back and start over this end. I'll tack it all down, tack on top of tack until it's all welded in. And I'm not gonna let you sit here and be bored watching me do that. So I'm gonna turn the camera off right now, finish that up, and I'll come back. Okay, I finished welding this side up. I finished this edge, welded it all up. This spot right here, hope you can see that. I'll cut this out and patch that. But that's the patch side. That's the other side that I still have to do. So hopefully I can make that side look like that side. That's the goal. So I'm gonna work on this little patch right here in the front, and then I'm gonna move over to the other side and get see if I can get this side over here patched up and ready to go. So stand by with me. Okay, I made my patch. I cut out of the hood, I mean the roof, excuse me. I cut out the roof, and if you notice, it's got a little bit of a curve, just a slight curve. And then I had to make this lip along this edge to turn down on the edge of here. So that's going to fit in like so. And get it back in there. Make sure all of my surfaces match up nice and tight. Might need to trim this just a little bit, but I'm gonna finish. I'll finish the fitment. I'm gonna go ahead and weld it in, grind all the welds down, and I'll show you the final product on that. There's the patch right there. So that's half of it done. Next I'll move on to that side over there. I'm gonna call it a day for today, and then I'm actually gonna get in the little Mustang, take my bride for a ride. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and we'll pick back up on this tomorrow. I got just a little bit of a low spot in here. I didn't get it perfectly level, but just a little skim coat of putty will fix that right up. But it's all solid, secure now. I'll move on to that side tomorrow. So till then, see ya. All right, guys, here's what I got done. Same techniques as yesterday. I went ahead and fixed the other side. You guys saw me do that side, so I came in to the shop and just did this side to finish up. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. It'll help me out if you subscribe. A couple of videos back, I hit my own personal milestone of 100 subscribers. I was impressed. Nobody else in YouTube land will be impressed. But if you would like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell if you want to see more of my videos. I really appreciate everybody that's out there that's liking my stuff, or that's watching my stuff, or that's supporting my channel. I appreciate it so much. I think I'm gonna finish this video right here, fixing that cross brace and stuff for the roof on the car is going to take me a while. This video's gotten long enough. I was editing last night and trying to see how long the video was going to be and all that. It was getting kind of long, so I'm going to finish this right here. What I'm going to do off camera, basically, I'm going to put my muriatic acid on the roof and clean the roof up and get it all prepped and ready to go. So next video I'll be working on that support, trying to figure out how to fix it, dissecting it and taking it apart. The other reason I'm gonna end the video is I don't know how many of y'all have looked back at my videos, but I have a 1956 two-door post Chevrolet car that I'm gonna build a rat rod out of. And my donor vehicle for the LS and the transmission and a bunch of parts that I'm gonna use is getting delivered here shortly. So I'll be working on getting that motor and transmission and everything out. So I may shoot a little video of doing that to prep up for my rat rod build. So as far as this one goes, this is it. We'll be working on the Nightmare again here shortly. So with that being said, hey, don't look down on others. Always look up. Don't look down on yourself. Get out there and work on them old rides. Save a part of history. Till next time, bye.